The movie begins with Yamaguchi Kumiko, also known as Yunkumi, stopping criminals from hijacking a plane. When the plane lands, police forces are surprised when the criminals exit the plane and apologize. Yunkumi also surprises the police by introducing herself as a math teacher at Akado High School. Sometime later, Yunkumi's heroic actions make her famous in town. At home, she's welcomed by the Odo family, a well-known Yakuza clan, and even offered the position of clan leader, but she declines. Yunkumi was raised by her grandfather, Ryuichiro Kuroda, the third-generation leader of the Odo family, after losing her parents at a young age. Back to the present, Yunkumi appears to be settling into her role as a math teacher, a job she's been doing for 7 years, despite facing challenging students. Her colleagues quickly approach her in the teacher's lounge after reading about her heroic plane rescue. Vice Principal Sawatari Goro then enters, reminding Yunkumi to avoid any more controversial news that could expose her Yakuza family background. Amidst this, a student teacher named Odagiri Ryu surprises everyone by arriving, including Yunkumi, who realizes he was once her student at Karajan High School. She's glad to see Ryu following in her footsteps, but he clarifies he's still in training and not fully committed to teaching yet. After meeting the other teachers, Yunkumi takes Ryu to Class 3D, where she's the homeroom teacher for the most troublesome students. Upon reaching the classroom, Ryu is surprised by Yunkumi's routine of pumping herself up before class. When they enter, chaos reigns, with students ignoring Yunkumi until she raises her voice to calm them. An angry student throws a tennis ball at her, but she dodges and sends it back. This gets the students' attention, and Yunkumi tells them to meet Ryu on the field, who will be her teaching assistant. However, none of them want to go, so an annoyed Yunkumi kicks a can in frustration. From afar, 5 boys who were once taught by Yunkumi watch her and Ryu from the rooftop. They're puzzled by Ryu's choice to become a student teacher at Akado High School after being a troublemaker at Karajan High School. Another time, they see Yunkumi and Ryu together, making them suspect something between them. They quickly inform their friends at a food stall. To their surprise, Yunkumi and Ryu also show up at the stall. The boys tease Yunkumi about finally getting close to a man, which annoys her. She seems ready to challenge them, but Ryu stops her. They all order food and eat together, chatting about their lives. They discuss how Yunkumi's former troublemaker students once bet she couldn't become a teacher at another school. Meanwhile, some students from Class 3D are being extorted by the Black Skull motorcycle gang. Reita Takasugi arrives to confront the motorcycle gang members, defending his classmates and chasing them away. Later that evening, Yunkumi invites Ryu to visit her home and drink with all the members of the Odo family because she has a desire to drink with her students. After a few glasses, Yunkumi falls asleep from the alcohol, leaving Ryu and Asakura Tetsu, a member of the Odo family, to talk about Yunkumi. Ryu talks about Yunkumi's sometimes annoying behavior, but acknowledges the many things she's taught him, inspiring him to become a teacher like her. The next day, Yunkumi accidentally meets her former troublemaking students, Takeda Keita and Kyuga Kasuke, while watching a campaign speech by Kurose Kentaro, a successful figure in the IT industry running for election. Impressed by Kentaro's character, Yunkumi rushes onto the stage to express her support, seeing him as similar to her former lover. Because her behavior is considered excessive, Keita and Kasuke try to pull Yunkumi away from the campaign area. At Akado High School, the Black Skull motorcycle gang shows up, looking for students who had beaten up one of their members the other day. This attracts many curious students to leave their classes to see what's happening. Meanwhile, Goro, feeling scared, calls the authorities to deal with the situation. Fortunately, before the situation worsens, the motorcycle gang members decide to leave the school. Afterward, Takasugi and his friends are called in by Goro, who scolds them for getting involved with the motorcycle gang. One of Takasugi's friends tries to explain that they were just trying to help those being extorted. However, Goro doesn't believe them until Yunkumi steps in and convinces Goro that her students are not lying. Despite this, Goro still blames Takasugi and the others, even suggesting that Yunkumi quit teaching if they cause trouble again. Yunkumi fearlessly stands up for her students, ready to defend them even if it means losing her job. Takasugi and his friends are surprised by Yunkumi's unwavering support. In the classroom, Takasugi can't shake off Goro's warning to Yunkumi earlier. Not wanting to put his friends in danger or owe Yunkumi any favors, he decides to confront the Black Skull Gang to settle their issue. When Yunkumi enters the classroom to teach alongside Ryu, she is surprised to find out that Takasugi went alone to the gang's hideout, scolding the class for letting a friend face such danger. Before she rushes to find Takasugi, Ryu reminds the students about the importance of friendship and supporting each other. At the gang's hideout, Takasugi asks the motorcycle gang to leave his school and settle things with him alone. Seeing Takasugi alone, the motorcycle gang members immediately attack him until they are all startled by an explosion that occurs, demolishing the wall of their headquarters. Yunkumi arrives and demands they let Takasugi go. She fights bravely against the gang, and when Ryu joins her, they manage to drive the gang away. Takasugi's friends arrive to find him badly hurt, and while Yunkumi finally bids farewell to them all. The following morning, Yunkumi is pleasantly surprised when a student from Class 3D greets her warmly in the schoolyard. This small gesture makes her feel appreciated and hopeful that her students are accepting her, even daydreaming about if all the students in Class 3D become good students who always listen to her words. Takasugi interrupts her daydream, reminding her about a meeting she's about to miss if she keeps zoning out. With a start, Yunkumi hurries off to the teacher's lounge. During a teacher's meeting, 2 police officers arrive to report that a former student of Akado High School named Kazama Ren is involved in illegal drug activities. The teacher's initially skeptical of the news until the police officers explain how Ren was caught in a raid at a location suspected of being a storage facility for illegal drugs. Yunkumi, who was Ren's former homeroom teacher, feels compelled to find out the truth behind his involvement. Despite the shock, she believes there must be a reason behind Ren's actions and is determined to uncover it. While searching for Ren in the city, Yunkumi bumps into some of her former students who happen to be friends with Ren. They all agree to team up and find Ren, who has gone missing. They split up to cover more ground and search every corner of the city where Ren is known to frequent. Later that night, at Akado High School, Ryu, on his way home passing by Class 3D, is startled by noises coming from inside the classroom. Curious, he investigates and finds Ren sleeping there. He wakes Ren up and convinces him to talk to Yunkumi about what's going on. Soon after, Yunkumi and Ren's friends, who were also searching for him, arrive at Class 3D after getting word of his location. Yunkumi is relieved to see Ren safe, but Ren is still upset, explaining that he didn't want to trouble Yunkumi with his problems because during his time as her student, he always disappointed her. Yunkumi reassures him that they're all there to support him. Hearing this, Ren admits that he was set up by someone who offered him a job to deliver goods for a high payment to support his younger sister. When Ren tried to quit, he was threatened and beaten by the person who gave him the job, forcing him to continue. Yunkumi advises Ren and the others to be cautious and avoid getting involved in criminal activities. To keep Ren safe for the time being, Yunkumi invites him and his friends to stay at her house without revealing her Yakuza background. Meanwhile, as Yunkumi is seeing off Ryu, members of the Odo family inform her that Kentaro is behind Ren's involvement in the drug business. Angry, Yunkumi decides to confront Kentaro. Unexpectedly, Ren overhears the information, so they plan to go to Kentaro's office, where he will campaign the next day. The next morning, Yunkumi learns about this and tries to stop Ren and contacts Ogata Yamato, who is also with him, fearing for their safety. But Yamato ignores her and continues to watch Kentaro. Panicked, Yunkumi decides to follow her former students, but Ryu arrives with his motorcycle, ready to take her to Kentaro's office. Inside Kentaro's office building, the scene is bustling as Kentaro prepares for a campaign event, which will be broadcast live on national television. Yunkumi and Ryu disguise themselves as supporters to gain entry. Yunkumi is surprised to see Tsuchiya Hikaru, her former student, working as a cameraman's assistant. After a brief reunion, Yunkumi and Ryu resume their search for Yamato and the others. Unbeknownst to them, they are captured on camera by journalists covering Kentaro's event, shocking their colleagues at Akado High School. Later, Yundkumi and Ryu reach Kentaro's illegal drug storage warehouse, where they find Yamato and the others inspecting boxes that Ren usually handles. Ren smashes a statue and uncovers the drugs hidden inside. Suddenly, they are discovered by Kentaro's henchmen, who aim their weapons at them. Yundkumi, who has snuck up behind the henchmen, swiftly incapacitates them, saving Ren and the others. While Kentaro's campaign event airs on national television, Yundkumi becomes even more furious, vowing not to forgive him. She decides to confront Kentaro alone, leaving Ryu to watch over Ren and the others. Yundkumi storms onto the stage during Kentaro's speech, shocking him and the audience. She wastes no time in exposing Kentaro as the leader of the illegal drug ring, causing chaos among the attendees. The screen above the stage reveals the location of Kentaro's stash, further exposing his criminal activities to everyone's disbelief. As people flee the event, Kentaro orders his henchmen to capture Yundkumi. Despite being outnumbered, Ryu steps in to assist her, enduring blows from Kentaro's men. Yundkumi's former students arrive to help, but she urges them to stay away from the dangerous situation. With newfound strength, Yundkumi fights off Kentaro's henchmen until he is left cornered, pointing a gun at her. Outside the building, Takasuji, another student from Class 3D, tries to enter to assist Yundkumi, who is persuading Kentaro to stop his wrongdoing. Hearing Yundkumi's advice, Kentaro and all of Yundkumi's students appear touched, while the police officers finally arrive at the scene fully armed, causing Yundkumi to try to convince the police not to shoot Kentaro. Eventually, Kentaro is arrested. Before leaving, he tells all of Yundkumi's students that they are lucky to have a teacher like her. Tears streaming down her face, Yundkumi thanks her students for always supporting her. On another day, while heading to school, Yundkumi encounters some former students who are now successful in different fields. Upon reaching the teacher's room, she bows to Goro, apologizing for the trouble caused by exposing Kentaro's illegal activities. Surprisingly, Goro expresses pride in Yundkumi, as her actions have made Akado High School famous and more desirable to many. Towards the end of the movie, a few days later, on Ryu's final day of internship, he is given a special assignment by Goro, the vice principal of Akado High School. Ryu accepts the task with determination. Meanwhile, after classes end, Yundkumi takes her students from Class 3D to play kick the can on the field. Initially, many of them aren't interested, but when Takasuji agrees to join, the rest follow his lead, heading to the field to play together. Moral lesson from the story: if you want to be a super math teacher, just remember, always dodge tennis balls and drink Yakuza member. But never forget, when facing motorcycle gangs, it's best to kick that can of trouble away.